We are beginning the meeting shortly. We will be conducting tonight's meeting in person as well as in virtual setting using Zoom. Members of the public may view and listen to the meeting tonight on Wave Channel 18 and online through the city's YouTube channel. If you would like to participate in live public comment via the Zoom platform, please refer to the agenda for instructions. Chair Eric Johnson will begin the meeting momentarily.
All right. I'll call the April 15th, 2026 City of Lincoln Planning Commission meeting to order. Secretary, may we have roll call, please?
Commissioner Gilbert,
Here.
Commissioner Hutchinson,
Here.
Commissioner Jackson,
Here.
Commissioner Jerry Johnson, Vice Chair Manning,
Here.
and Chairman Eric Johnson.
Here. All right, we'll move on to item number 3, Pledge of Allegiance. I've asked Commissioner Jackson to please lead us in that tonight. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you for that. Item number 4, agenda modifications. Do we have any agenda modifications this evening? Okay, looks like no. Item number 5 will be a public comment on non-agenda items within the subject matter jurisdiction of the commission. Citizens may address the Planning Commission on any item on the agenda when the item is considered. Citizens wishing to speak may request to speak by raising your hand when requested to do so. This is an opportunity to speak on non-agenda items. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Secretary, do we have any hands raised online, or do we have anyone in the chambers that wishes to speak?
I have not received any comment cards before the meeting. I do not see any hands raised online. And in the room, would anybody like to speak? There are no hands raised in the room.
Thank you. Number 6, disclosure of ex parte communication. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any communications to disclose? And we'll start at my right, please.
None.
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 Nothing to disclose.
And I don't have anything to disclose either. All right, so we'll move on to item number 7, consent. All matters on the consent agenda are considered routine business and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a request to remove a specific item for separate action is received. Any items removed will be considered after the remainder of the consent agenda. We only have one item tonight, but do any of my colleagues wish to remove an item from the consent agenda?
Move approval, Mr. Chairman.
Second?
Before we do that, I was instructed a new little procedural thing before we do the motion. I appreciate it. Is there any public comment on the consent agenda item?
And so we can recognize the motions. We just take public comment before we actually take the vote.
Okay, perfect. All right, so we have,
I have a comment.
okay.
Under comments here, it says that I commented that he thought that staff reports and presentations for this meeting were good. My recollection was it said very good, but no need to change that.
Okay, thanks for pointing that out. All right, so we did have a motion and a second.
May I get who's second, please? Who motion?
Peter.
Thank you.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, abstentions? All right, motion passes, let's see, 6-0-0-0. Now we'll move on to section, item number 8, public hearings. First one is 8A, Chevron at Joyner Parkway. Adopt a resolution approving a conditional use permit for type 21 full liquor application and determination of public convenience or necessity. And we have Efren Sanchez, Senior Planner, who will give our staff report. Please.
We would ask the commission that when they make the motion to approve the item, that they also include that this is determining the project is exempt from CEQA.
Good evening, Planning Commissioners. Efren Sanchez, Senior Planner with Community Development Department. The project is a conditional use permit, CUP, for on-site alcohol sales under a Type 21 off-sale general license, along with a public convenience and necessity, PCN, determination for an existing 2,700 square foot Chevron convenience store and gas station at 151 Joyner Parkway. The project site is located on the northeast corner of Joyner Parkway and First Street, located here, highlighted. The convenience store currently operates with a Type 20 ABC license for off-sale beer and wine. The request is to upgrade to a Type 21 ABC license, allowing for off-sale beer and wine and distilled spirits. Applicant Lincoln Station, Inc., on behalf of Gill Property Development. The site is designated neighborhood commercial and is zoned neighborhood commercial business professional within the Joyner Ranch General Development Plan. No building changes are proposed. The 2,700 square foot convenience store will keep existing hours of operation. And this is just an image of the actual gas station. The sale of alcoholic beverages beyond a bona fide restaurant requires a conditional use permit. Similar, a PCN analysis is required for subsequent ABC licensing for hard liquor to ensure it does not significantly contribute to any existing oversaturation of such licenses. Staff researched the project site history and obtained ABC licensing information for the surrounding area. There are a total of 6 active alcohol licenses within a 1 mile radius. The Chevron project site is located approximately half a mile from the nearest place of worship, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, a quarter mile from the nearest park, Creekside Park, and 0.14 miles from the nearest school, which is Creekside Oaks Elementary School. Furthermore, the Chief of Police, Matt Alves, conducted a review of the records from the past 5 years at or around the project site. The chief stated that there have been no chronic police concerns at this location. Therefore, the chief has no heightened concerns about the facility's proposed use. This slide illustrates the location of the 6 active licenses within a 1 mile radius. The only other Type 21 license is the other Chevron off of Nicholas Road, which you can see at the top over here, along with 2 other alcohol licenses. And then here's a project site highlighted in red. And then in that shopping center, there's 3 other alcohol licenses as well. But of course, the only other Type 21 is over here at the other Chevron station. Staff reviewed the surrounding land uses and found that the request is compatible with the commercial character of the area. The project is consistent with the general plan, including Economic Development Policy ED 2.3, which supports business expansion. Off-sale alcohol sales are common in commercial districts, and the use is similar to other nearby licensed establishments. The site is eligible for the use in the Neighborhood Commercial Business Park zone with approval of a conditional use permit. The nearest Type 21 license is the Chevron at 2330 Nicholas Road, about 0.92 miles away. With conditions of approval, staff found that the project would not create health, safety, or welfare impacts. The police chief reported no chronic concerns and raised no objection. Flood hazards findings are not applicable because the site is not located in a flood zone. The project is exempt because the 2,700 square foot convenience store is existing. Thus, the project, as conditioned, will not have a significant effect on the environment. The project is exempt because it meets the criteria that characterize it as existing development. That leads us to our recommendation. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission conduct a public hearing, consider the information contained in the staff report and testimony of the public, and take the following actions. 1, determine that the project is exempt from CEQA under section 15301, existing facilities. And 2, adopt a resolution approving the conditional use permit for alcohol sales type 21 off-sale general and determination of public convenience and necessity within the existing building located at 151 Joyner Parkway in Lincoln, with project-specific and typical conditions of approval. So we have the applicant team here here if you have any questions for them or if you have any questions for me. That concludes my presentations.
All right, thank you, Efren. I'll bring it to my colleagues. Do any of my colleagues have any questions or comments at this point? Or we open it to public hearing? Please, Commissioner Johnson.
I assume the school district was notified, and did they have any comments on the application?
Part of our process for this type of application, the school district was not notified. It's not one of the findings that we have to do. Yeah, it's not part of our, well, actually, take that back. Yeah, I take that back. As part of our routing, there is someone from the school district that gets notification. No comment for that. Sorry.
Second slide, on the very top of your second slide, says on and off. Is that on-site and off? Is that just, you were telling us what licenses are around? That confused me, or is this both on and off-site
Yeah,
consumption? Go back, the other slide. Sorry, maybe it's that one, top line, on-site and off-site sale of alcohol. That meaning you're just showing us what on-site and off-site are in the area, or is this going to be both?
Yeah, I could see why that's confusion. I should have just struck out the on-site because it's technically just off-site sale of alcohol.
That's all that 21 is, right? Off-site.
Correct. But I think originally, I was trying to indicate that both on-site and off-site require CUP in commercial zone.
Any additional questions or comments at this point? I'll now open the public hearing. Citizens wishing to speak on this item may request to speak by raising their hand when requested to do so. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. And before I ask what hands are raised, I'd like to give the applicant an opportunity if they have any comments or would like to make a presentation at this point. Oh, please step up to the podium and, yeah.
Hi, my name is Nick. I'm the owner at the Chevron. I just want to add that I know he pointed out there's 6 active licenses within the 1 mile, but they're all mostly on-site, like the pizza place. They're not the off-sale one. The only off-sale is the other Chevron. So within the mile, there's no other places where our customers can buy liquor. So it's mainly for public convenience. There's more than 1,000 houses within 1 mile, but no other place for them to buy liquor. So we get it all the time that they get the gas. We already have beer and wine. So we get a lot of requests if we can add liquor. And if we do add liquor, the school concern across the street, we plan on having all the liquor behind the counter. So nobody can run away with a bottle or no runoffs, because even though when it's on the shelves, no matter how hard you try, kids will just run away. So we plan on keeping it all behind the counter. And also want to add that in our previous years, we have no violations from ABC. We always follow all the laws and no loitering, none of that. We have no, like the police chief said, we follow all the, all the rules and regulations. So that's all I wanted to add.
Excellent. Thank you. All right, Secretary, do we have any hands raised online or anyone in the chambers that wishes to speak?
I did not receive any cards before the meeting. I do not see any hands raised online. And is there anyone in the room who would like to speak?
Please come to the podium and please state your name.
My name is Kevin Siddle. I live at First and O Street. I think this is a really bad idea because within a few miles, as you stated, there's plenty of opportunity to buy liquor. Being that it's literally 100 yards away from a school, I think that's a bad idea.
Thank you. Do we have any additional hands raised or anyone else who would like to make a comment?
I don't see any other hands raised in the room.
Okay. Saying that, I will close the public hearing and bring it back to my colleagues. Does anyone have any additional comments? Senator Johnson?
Just a question. What is our direction at this point? Do we offer 7 or 8 motions here, or does one motion including both the CEQA and
This is item 8A, Commissioner Johnson. So
Right.
it has two components. Thank you very much. One is to determine that the project is exempt from CEQA under section 15301 and to adopt a resolution approving the conditional use permit for alcohol sales type 21 off-sale general and determine the public convenience or necessity within the existing building at 151 Joyner Parkway.
Okay, I got it. I was slipping down it. Okay.
And you can just do it by saying, as stated in the agenda, with the CEQA exemption.
Correct. Yeah, so we're voting on, 8A, the one resolution with CEQA. Good question. Do we have any other questions or comments? Okay, if not.
I'll move approval of item 8A.
I'll second it.
All right.
And just to clarify, it includes the CEQA exemption
It does.
and as
Yes.
stated in the agenda. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for clarifying that. All right, so we have a motion and a second. Can we have roll call, please?
Commissioner Jerry Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Hutchinson,
Yes.
Commissioner Gilbert,
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson,
Yes.
Vice Chair Manning,
Yes.
and Chair Eric Johnson.
Yes. All right, motion passes 6-0-0-0. Item 8B, so this one has a lot of resolutions in it. So I'm gonna read those as kind of like an introduction, so that we have them as stated in the agenda. So I believe at the end, we can do a motion together with all of it as stated in the agenda. So 8B, Starbucks and Circle K at First Street and Joyner Parkway. It's, so we have a list of 7. Adopt a resolution determining the project is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA. Let's see, yeah. Do I need to read all the, okay, just that first part. Okay, second one is adopt a resolution recommending City Council approve the Joyner Parkway and First Street commercial tentative parcel map. The tentative parcel map would subdivide the 2-acre parcel into a total of 2 commercial parcels. The third one, adopt a resolution approving the specific development plan, development permit, master plan for the proposed Starbucks and Circle K commercial project in conformance with the design and development standards of the Joyner Ranch General Development Plan. Number 4, adopt a resolution making a determination of findings of consistency with the general plan for summary vacation of public landscape easement along the frontage of Joyner Parkway and First Street. 5, adopt a resolution approving a conditional use permit for alcohol sales and/or consumption consistent with municipal code, section 1822030 for parcel 1. Number 6, adopt a resolution approving a conditional use permit for automobile drive-through consistent with the local municipal code as stated in there. And number 7, adopt a resolution approving a conditional use permit to allow development on a commercial property with a non-conforming parcel size consistent with the Joyner Ranch General Development Plan for Parcel 2. I believe I said all that right. So like I said, by reading all that now, it's going to be a motion as, presented in the agenda, unless we do something different. So I will now turn the time over to Thomas Cruikshank, a senior planner, who will give us a staff report.
All right, good evening, Planning Commissioners. Thomas Cruikshank, Associate Planner with the Community Development Department. The project before you is the Starbucks Circle K Commercial Development Project. Tonight, I will discuss the project location, requested entitlements, findings and environmental determination, and staff recommendations. This presentation is a summary of the project. More detailed project information is included and outlined in the staff report provided. Lastly, as of this meeting, we have not received any public comments on this project. So the project site is located just west of the downtown portion of the city of Lincoln within the Joyner Ranch General Development Plan area and just south of the previous project here across the street. This application seeks to develop 2 acres of commercially zoned property at the corner of First and Joyner. The proposal includes a Circle K gas station and a Starbucks with a drive-through. Requested entitlements for this project are a tentative parcel map, specific development plan, development permit, findings of consistency with the general plan for summary vacation of existing public landscape easements, and conditional use permits for alcohol sales at the Circle K, a drive-through at the Starbucks, and a non-conforming parcel size of less than 1 acre. So the entitlement request for a tentative parcel map proposes to divide the existing approximately 2-acre parcel into 2 separate commercial parcels. Parcel 1 is proposed to be 1.04 acres. That's the northern parcel. Parcel 2 is proposed to be 0.94 acres. That's the southern parcel. So the second entitlement request is for a specific development plan, development permit. On November 20th, 2025, the Design Review Board conducted its review of the project. The board expressed overall support for the architectural design and identified 2 modifications for consideration. First, the board requested that the brick veneer used on the Circle K building also be applied to the fuel canopy columns. Second, the board asked whether the red bollards on the Circle K could be revised to black. The applicant team agreed to change the bollards to black, and these requests have been added as conditions of approval. Following its review and discussion, the board issued a recommendation of approval for the project to the Planning Commission. The 3,974 square foot Circle K gas station located on the northern parcel and the 2,338 square foot Starbucks would be positioned on the southern parcel. Also included is a landscape design that incorporates select tree species, shrubs, and ground covers to create a visually appealing aesthetic while providing effective screening along the site perimeter. Design program has also been included with the entitlement submittal, which proposes 2 internally lit 14-foot, 6-inch tall monument signs here and here. These signs will be located near the corner of First and Joyner and along the entrance on First Street. There are also building mounted and fuel canopy signs and non-illuminated branding signs at the Circle K. The next entitlement involves the abandonment of existing public landscape easements along First Street and Joyner Parkway. These easements were dedicated many years ago and they are no longer required. The vacations of easements does not remove the requirement of providing landscaping within the site. It merely eliminates the conflicts with the private maintenance and management of landscape within the new project. The final entitlement requests for conditional use permits. Conditional use permits are required for alcohol sales at the Circle K on parcel 1, a drive-through at the Starbucks on parcel 2, and for the development of a non-conforming parcel less than 1 acre as required by the Joyner Ranch General Development Plan. Parcel 2 is proposed to be 0.94 acres. Starbucks and the Circle K commercial project has been found to be consistent with the City of Lincoln General Plan, the Joyner Ranch General Development Plan, Lincoln Municipal Code Title 17 subdivisions, and Title 18 zoning. Analysis has determined that the project is exempt from California Environmental Quality Act pursuant to Section 15332 infill development. The project is consistent with the development intensity and land use assumptions evaluated in the Joyner Ranch General Development Plan and will not result in new or more severe environmental impacts than those previously considered. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission conduct a public hearing, consider the information contained in the staff report and testimony of the public, and take the following actions outlined here. Adopt resolutions determining the project qualifies for exemption under CEQA, recommend City Council approve the tentative parcel map, approve the specific development plan development permit, make a determination of findings of consistency with the general plan for vacation of public landscape easements, and approve conditional use permits for alcohol sales at parcel 1, an automobile drive-through at parcel 2, and development on a non-conforming parcel less than 1 acre in size. This concludes my presentation. Members of the applicant team and staff are here to answer any questions you guys might have.
Excellent. Thank you for the presentation. Do any of my colleagues have any questions or comments at this time before the public hearing?
I serve on the Design Review Board, and so I just wanted to publicly say that the applicant was very positive about our recommendations. We appreciated working with them, especially with the bollard colors and the landscaping side of it. I thought was very, very nice. So I just wanted to put that on record that I appreciated their working with us as well as they did.
Thank you. Do you have a comment?
I have a question. Can you go back to the slide that shows the overview of the design? You see the
Yes.
drive-through. Was there any concern from city staff, any type of reassurance or study done? I mean, I'm by far am I an expert at this, but I see that drive-through and the entrance is right there near the entrance of Joyner Parkway, which is a pretty busy street. If that were to back up and that drive-through flows out into the street, that's pretty concerning, right?
Yeah, so
That design looks, I mean, is that going to happen?
we did ask for, DCAS as a consultant. They did a traffic study. City code does require a minimum of 25 feet off the main drag. This provides more than 50, and they're providing in excess of the required stacking since it is a high-use kind of business. And this particular parcel was assessed to be able to handle the capacity. Our big concern was backing up into Joyner. That is a very busy street.
Yeah, I mean, I would rather back up on the other, on first than on Joyner.
Yeah.
So you say that they've got a higher capacity on stacking. What is the minimum capacity and where are they at?
I forget what the minimum was. Minimum 10. This one provides 21 in the current configuration.
That's a bit of a concern to me. I laugh at traffic studies because we have them all over the city and every project comes up here and, hey, we had a traffic study done. It says it's going to work. And we can show you areas all over that had traffic studies that said they're going to work and they're not working. You know what I mean? It's almost like it's just something we do to check a box sometimes, right? Find a consultant to say it's going to work. Okay.
I would add that the city now has a traffic engineer that we haven't had in years past. City Engineer Vin Kay is also a traffic engineer. And so that he reviews all of the traffic study. I'll say that traffic flow, traffic patterns, to ensure that there are no backups, that is one of his major pet peeves. And so when these traffic studies are conducted, we're not just taking the consultants, the developer's consultants' word for it. He does a separate review and evaluation of those traffic studies to determine that they are in fact true and that what they're recommending or proposing meets with what we think needs to happen in order to avoid a backup.
That study's been reviewed by,
Yes,
Yeah.
the study has been reviewed by not just the planning staff, but also by the city engineer, who's our traffic engineer.
okay. I mean, that's somewhat reassuring. I would love to see an overflow in a plan. I think we all know that certain retailers that create some pretty big traffic and drive-through, Starbucks being one of them, Chick-fil-A, you know, in and out, right? And they seem to all overflow really long. And I just have that concern on Joyner Parkway right there, that could be dangerous. I'd love to see a backup flow into the gas station if possible, but it's just me. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for that question.
Well,
Commissioner
that's,
Johnson?
well, the project, site landscape plan is up there. I'm just kind of curious, and maybe there's that applicant's architect is present tonight, but I think if I was doing that project, at least as far as Starbucks goes, I'd want to have the building close to the street, so it was obvious that there was a Starbucks there and not hidden behind rows of traffic and relatively small signage. And I was wondering why that wasn't considered at the time.
We have the applicant, Callie, here. She can provide.
And Commissioners, thank you for having me. I just wanted to also thank both Mel and Thomas and SP over the past few years. It's been a very collaborative working relationship. The reason why we positioned the Starbucks how it was, what considered further east, is because we wanted to make sure that we had a longer queue. This has a 21 queue stack. And so we just wanted to make sure that there was enough stack in a drive-through lane to not have an overflow issue. So that's why it's further to the east, rather than being on the frontage.
Well, you'd still have the same room for the backup, wouldn't you, if you just moved it from
I
one
don't
side?
believe so, because the pickup would have to always be on your left-hand side. And if it was further to the front, then the drive-through would be at the passenger window.
Could you point that out on the site plan?
Yeah. Yes.
The pickup is kind of right at the center of the light there.
And then if we were to shift the entire building to the joiner, then the pickup or the driver would be in the passenger
Opposite side.
side.
Depends on what side you put it on.
Yeah, I mean, if you did a wave around, and your last turn, it would also have the driver on the left side. Anyway, I'm not asking you to redesign it tonight. I just
Yeah.
was
do it
curious. Yeah.
I'd like to make a comment on that. Yes, you could put it on the left side, but think about someone coming in. Can we have that back? Think about somebody coming in there on the left and having to make a very sharp left turn. That's an accident looking for a place to happen, as opposed to having a longer run before you had to start to make a turn and work through the shopping center. The other comment I'm going to make is we have found, particularly with In-N-Out, that what we approved for them didn't work in terms of the
The queuing.
access, et cetera, didn't work. And the reason it didn't work is they were so successful. And so there's a conditional use permit on this project. There was one on that one. And so the staff worked with the people who owned In-N-Out, and they got approval to use the overflow into the parking lot, and they have hired people who take the orders in the parking lot, which allows them to maximize their business and eliminated the concerns that have been expressed tonight. So that use permit is going to allow us, if there is a problem, to come back and address the issues that our vice chairman had, which are very relevant, but we can't plan or ask people that come to our city to put parking in for the worst possible scenario, having financed shopping centers and developers. The costs would become so prohibitive, we wouldn't be building. So we got to do the best we can using our professional staff to plan it the best we can. But because we have this conditional use permit, we have the obligation to review it and change it if necessary.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for all those comments. Do we have any additional comments or questions at this point? Okay. Thanks for that presentation. Let's see, so with that, I'll now open public hearing. Citizens wishing to speak on this item may request to speak by raising their hand. When requested to do so, please limit your comments to 3 minutes. And before I ask for the public comments, I want to give the applicant an opportunity if they have any comments or would like to make a presentation at this time.
Have any further comments or presentation, but thank
Okay.
you.
Yep, thank you. Thanks for being here
Right,
available.
if there's any further technical questions, our design team is here that can answer any questions.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you. All right, Secretary, do we have any raised hands online or anyone in the chambers that wishes to speak?
Chair Eric Johnson, I did not receive any comment cards before the meeting. I do not see any hands raised online. However, we do have 2 hands raised. Gentleman in the gray shirt, please come to the podium.
And please state your name again. Thanks.
My name is Kevin Siddle. I literally live 5 blocks away from this development thing. Last thing we need is another Starbucks. You just granted these people over here a liquor license. The last thing we need is another gas station, which will be direct competition to them. I don't understand why you would consider this. We don't need gas stations literally across the street. I mean, look at Lincoln Boulevard. We have 3 gas stations going down Lincoln Boulevard between 7th and 1st. There's 3 gas stations. Why would you put another gas station right next to one that already exists? I'm opposed to the liquor license. We don't need another convenience store literally down the street from my house, because we already have one. And if I go the other way, there's another one right there within 5 blocks. So I'm opposed to this whole thing.
Thank you for your comment. Do we have another one?
Please state your name.
Nick, on the Chevron across the street. So I just want to add, there's absolutely no need for another gas station across the street. With all these electric cars coming, our gas sales are down 5 to 10% every year. We have 6 pumps at our station, and you'll never see more than 2 full at the same time when you drive by. We used to do 120,000 gallons a month. We're down to 50 to 60,000 gallons a month. I can provide you guys the numbers. So if we're doing 50,000 gallons, when someone comes in and build a new gas station, their expectations are at least 150,000 to 300,000 gallons. So I don't know how they did their IMST studies or whatever, what number they're predicting, but we're doing 50,000 gallons a month. With 6 pumps, we should be doing 200,000 gallons. Also, when we built our gas station here, we had to go through a lot of tough ruling, a lot of hearings, a lot of protests. And with our beer and wine license, which we have currently, we can't sell singles. We can't sell beer and wine after 11 p.m. Normal law is 2 a.m. So another license for them, for CUP to sell alcohol beer license, there's no need for another beer and wine across the street. You're right, someone said Starbucks should be on the corner. The goal should be to beautify the city, not congest it with more gas stations. I talked to a 7-Eleven rep. They said they were looking at 2 more corners for 7-Eleven gas stations. There's Arco coming by the airport. There's another Costco. So it's already really hard to compete with Costco and all that. So there's absolutely no need. So, and then also, like you said, with the drive-through, if there's a line coming out of the drive-through for Starbucks, when gas gets delivered by a big tanker, how is that gonna affect, how is that big 18-wheeler trucks gonna deliver the gas? There's always a problem with the drive-throughs where only required is 10 feet or 25 feet, but you go to any Starbucks or Dutch Bros or In-N-Out, they literally take up the whole parking. We do not need another gas station across the street. We need a Starbucks and then maybe another healthy food option next to a Starbucks. There's a fire station across the street. There's a school. There's a church. One gas station for those houses is enough. There's like, you know what I mean? I can't emphasize enough that there's no need for another gas station. If you guys, if they want to brand our Chevron to a Circle K, or if they want to buy ours and you want to turn it into Circle K, I'll be happy to do that. I'm open to that option, but there's absolutely no need. So please consider that very carefully, another gas station across the street. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Secretary, do we have any additional?
I don't see any additional hands raised either way.
Okay. So with that, I'll close the public hearing and bring it back to my colleagues. Does anyone have any additional comments after? Mr. Manning, please.
I have a couple questions, maybe for staff here. There's nothing in here where we're making any type of zoning change to allow a gas station to be at this, right? This already fits the zoning, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, okay. And same for a coffee shop and a convenience store and all that, it already fits the zoning.
That's correct.
Okay. Yeah. You need me on it more? All right, here we go. How's that? I'm going to take care of you on this. Okay. Yes, it is. I'm loud and proud. Okay, so now I'm going to move that to a comment. And for the public that came up and spoke, I really appreciate the comments. I really do. And we all have opinions, and trust me, you see things that happen out there and you go, why do we need another one of these? Really, though, that's for the market to decide and not really for our panel. If zoning fits and somebody wants to open another gas station or another grocery store across the street from a grocery store and try to make it happen, the public, and they have the right to do that. Our job is to make sure that things fit the zoning and that they're going to work and that the plan is safe and not an obstruction to the public. But as far as do we need another one or not, that's what the free markets figure out. And I respect it, but sitting in this position, and I have the same opinion at times, and I have my favorite coffee places and not my favorite coffee places, and my favorite hamburger joints that I'd rather see here and there, but that's not our job to determine what gets put where and what gets put. We have what we would like to see there, but it doesn't always happen that way. So I just want to make that comment. I think that most of the committee up here would agree with me on that. And but I do appreciate the comments from the public, so thank you.
Do we have any additional comments or questions at this time? Seeing none, I'd just like to echo what Commissioner Manning, I appreciate the comments. You know, that's the free market dictates, looks like this fits within the zoning and our scope of what we're here for. So just wanted to, I agree with that. Thanks for that comment. So seeing no more questions or comments, before I entertain a motion, since we had 7, I just want to put out there, I'm looking for a motion that contains everything unless anyone plans to vote otherwise on one of those.
I do have a question. Just to reassure us, to our legal counsel, one motion or all of it would be adequate?
Yeah, so you could take one motion as referenced in the, agenda, so
Yes.
long as no commissioner wants to take a separate action on an individual line item.
Thank you.
If I could have a second to review them before anyone makes a motion, and I'll give you an idea of where my vote might go. But I want to look for one. Are any of these motions regarding a drive-through?
Number
I
6.
thought I saw
Part
one.
of the major
Number
Oh,
six.
it says
yeah.
the next page. Yeah, I'm finding trouble to support that based on the plan. So if a motion is given to approve them all, my vote would be no on all of them, even though I do agree with most of them, just because of that one on 6.
So we do have the ability, Commissioner, to pull out the one that you would like to have voted on separately. So if you just stated, which I think it's number 6, but.
Well, yeah, but I appreciate that. And if anybody making a motion would do that for me, that would be amazing. You have the right to make the motion how you want, but that's probably how I'll be voting. Thank
Here
you.
we go, Tony. I'd like to
Thank
make a
you, Peter.
motion to approve of the application in total minus item number 6.
I'll second.
Thank you.
All right.
Just a point of order. With regards to that, are we going to then be voting for item 6 on its own?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, good question. So we have a motion and a second to consider all resolutions excluding number 6 at this point. Roll call.
I will second that motion.
Okay, perfect. We got a motion and second.
I believe Commissioner Hutchinson
Oh,
second already.
I'm sorry. 2 seconds.
You can do the next one.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Roll call vote, Commissioner Gilbert,
Yes.
Commissioner Hutchinson,
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson,
Yes.
Commissioner Jerry Johnson, Vice Chair Manning,
Yes.
and Chair Eric Johnson.
Yes. So that motion passes 6-0-0-0. So,
Mr. Chair,
please.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve item number 6.
I'll second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to approve resolution number 6 as listed in the agenda. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Gilbert,
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson,
Yes.
Commissioner Hutchinson, Commissioner Jerry Johnson,
Yes.
Vice Chair Manning,
No.
and Chair Eric Johnson.
Yes. So that motion passes 5-1-0-0. Thank you. Okay, now we'll move on to item number 9, general business, and it looks like we have none. Is that still true? No general business? Okay. Then we'll move on to item number 10, informational items from the staff director reports. Do we have any informational items?
Yes, I just, in addition to the planning entitlement tracker, which is in your packet for your consideration, we'll be happy to answer any questions on that you have. We did also want to kind of bring forward to this commission that each time we have a change in personnel, for example, when we had a new city clerk, we made some modifications to the agenda. Now that we have a new city attorney, we're also considering changes in some modifications to the procedural way that we run these meetings so that they are, I'll say, in a line with the way the council meetings are run. And so we'll be bringing a couple of items, at least one, forward next meeting as an informational or perhaps even a general business for discussion item about changes to the agenda.
Excellent. Thank you for that.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
I have a question.
please.
Will we be getting that possible changes prior to the meeting?
Yes.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you'll see them when the agenda is published, and we'll be reaching out beforehand.
Thank you.
Thank you. That takes us to item number 11, commissioner comments. Do any of my colleagues have any comments? I'll start. Am I right?
Yes, I appreciated the comments of some of my fellow commissioners who understand that, property rights are something that is paramount in the planning process. And, everybody would like to keep out competition. However, is my considered opinion based on the research and my business career that competition is much more valuable to the marketplace. And with that, I'll end my comments.
Thank you.
I would just say that I concur with Commissioner Gilbert, and I really appreciated Vice Chair Manning's comments regarding the marketplace, because yes, as a former marketer, he is correct. Thank you.
I will also agree. But I also want to thank staff for two wonderful presentations. It was very easy to follow, and everything was laid out perfect. Thank you.
You're good? Commissioner?
Appreciate all the help from staff tonight, getting through some of those questions. Thank you.
Excellent. Yeah, I too like to echo appreciation for staff. Thank you for that. And looking at some of the little modifications, changes that might come forward. And the comments, about the competition and free market. I also failed to welcome, the new businesses to Lincoln there. So just want to welcome them to that. Glad that they're investing in Lincoln, in our city. And with that, we are adjourned.